All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a really fascinating and honestly pretty provocative analysis from Harvey Strategy. They're talking about this massive shift in global power. I mean, it completely redefines what it even means to be a world leader.
It's one of those questions that sounds like it's from a movie, right? But here's the thing. The source we're looking at today says this isn't some what-if scenario anymore. Nope. They argue it's the reality we're all living in right now. The actual rulebook for global power, it's being torn up and rewritten as we speak.
So how do we even begin to make sense of this new, I guess you'd call it a corporate-style reality? Well, the source gives us a really powerful new term to work with. They call it the state merchant leader.
Okay, and let's be super clear here. This isn't just about a leader being, business-friendly. Not at all. We're talking about something way deeper, a complete fusion of state power and corporate thinking. Imagine every single political move, every treaty, every alliance being run through a calculator to see what the return on investment is.
And this idea isn't exactly new, at least not in concept. The analysis actually goes all the way back to ancient Rome, saying today's leaders are like this modern hybrid. They're part patricius, that's your traditional state elite, all about authority and hierarchy. And they're part mercator, the merchant, all about capital and making a deal. It's like the boardroom and the war room have just completely merged into one.
Okay, so what is pushing this huge shift? I mean, why would a global superpower just flip the script? Go from playing the long game of influence to focusing on short-term profit? Well, according to this analysis, it all boils down to one incredibly powerful driver.
And they argue it's not about a leader's personality or some simple political choice. It's a reaction to just immense, almost unthinkable financial pressure.
That's right, a national debt of over $36 trillion. A number that big, the source says, just forces a new reality. It pretty much compels a country to shift its focus away from paying the long-term costs of being a global leader and towards an urgent, desperate need for short-term cash flow.
And this quote just nails the new philosophy, doesn't it? That whole post-World War II era where global leadership was seen as this long-term investment. Yeah, that's over. It's been swapped out for a purely transactional, what have you done for me lately model.
I mean, look at that. The contrast is just so stark. The old world order, gone. In this new reality, alliances aren't about shared values anymore. They're basically subscriptions. And security? That's not a collective good we all pitch in for. Nope. It's a service. And you better believe it, it comes with a bill.
And you see this bottom line logic getting applied everywhere to huge geopolitical flashpoints. The war in Ukraine? It gets framed less as a defense of sovereignty and more as an unprofitable business venture. NATO? Suddenly it's treated like a country club with really steep dues. And those long-standing security guarantees for allies like Taiwan and Japan? Now they're being questioned with, hey, are they paying enough? It's literally diplomacy by spreadsheet.
But this transactional mindset doesn't stop with just changing alliances. It actually leads to an even more radical and kind of chilling concept that the source calls Darby 3.0.
And this is the key point, right here. This new kind of intervention, it's got nothing to do with spreading democracy or fighting for an ideology. It is all about taking direct control of valuable stuff, oil, minerals, shipping lanes. It's as if a whole country is a company being targeted for a hostile takeover.
The source lays out some pretty startling examples that, frankly, make this theory feel very, very real. Canada, for instance, isn't seen as a sovereign ally, but more like a potential 51st state whose resources are there for the taking. The Panama Canal gets called our property. Greenland is targeted for purchase like it's a piece of real estate, an investment area, and any talk of intervention in Venezuela is framed explicitly around getting access to its oil. Suddenly, the very idea of sovereignty, well, it's on the negotiating table.
Okay, so what happens? What happens when the world's biggest superpower starts treating international law like, I don't know, a flexible contract that can be renegotiated or just flat out ignored? What does that mean for everybody else?
Well, this quote right here really captures that growing frustration you see around the world. It's a direct shot at the way our global institutions are set up, especially the UN Security Council, which, let's be honest, a lot of people see as totally outdated and paralyzed.
And this table really shows you the core of the problem, doesn't it? The 5 permanent members of the Security Council, that's a snapshot of the world in 1945. It's not the world we live in today.
You've got economic powerhouses like Japan and Germany on the sidelines. The entire continent of Africa, with over 1 billion people, has no permanent voice. It's a recipe for gridlock.
And all that paralysis, it creates a really dangerous power vacuum. When the established institutions just can't get anything done, the very foundations of the global order start to crack. And guess what? According to this analysis, rivals are more than happy to step right into that void, often using their very own versions of the same transactional, profit-first playbook.
So all of this brings us to the source's pretty sobering conclusion about where this is all going and what this new age of transactional politics really means for, well, for all of us.
And here it is, the ultimate takeaway. The analysis concludes that we're not just moving into a new world order with different rules. No, we're heading into an era with no stable rules at all. A long period of uncertainty where it's not about law, it's about power. Pure and simple. And that's the final critical question this analysis leaves us with. In a world like that, without rules, who's best equipped to survive? Maybe it's not about who's the strongest, but who is the most adaptable, who is paying attention and can figure out this new playbook the fastest. It's a huge question to think about as we all try to navigate this new and really uncertain world.